Well, hello everyone. I am thrilled to be here with my lovely client, Michele. How are you doing today?
It's a great day outside and I'm doing fine.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks.
thanks so much for joining us and chatting with me today because I want to celebrate you. When we met, you had so many ideas. You were cleaning your house and you were unearthing all of these like notebooks, and it felt like everything was chaotic, sporadic in your writing life. And as you were cleaning and tidying, you started having this like welling up in you of wanting to write. So we met, we started working together. You realized you have a strong voice in your writing. You have a story to share with more people beyond your immediate family. And your creative writing habits now are a priority for you, not sporadic longings. You're not overwhelmed by all of the things going on, and you have clarity in the direction of your memoir and spiritual writings that you're working on. And so I just want to pause to celebrate you, Michele, because it is so amazing how you've gained so much momentum as you've gotten clarity. So, yay!
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
How does that feel for you to hear all of those things of your process in the beginning when we were working together?
Well, it feels good to be this piece of it in. I've got a long way to go, but what you helped me primarily with was to get myself organized,
Yeah,
was to make a plan even to
yeah.
say and your affirmation work with us as your students, just to say the affirmations of I am a writer and just to be able to say that inside but project that outside. So that's been very helpful in getting me going here again.
Awesome. Well, tell us a bit about yourself and what more specifics of what you are actually writing these days.
Okay. Well, I've always kind of fooled around with it a bit. I'm a retired psychotherapist and spent many years working in Duluth as a psychotherapist. And working, I didn't really have time to put into writing. So that was a big factor. But in the past, I wrote like a family newsletter just for fun and made that kind of a laughing joke in the family. And then I'm an enrolled member of Bad River Reservation, and I started doing a column when they had a little newspaper called News from the Sloughs. So that was the little paper that came out monthly. And so I was able to get a little column in there, and I called it A Howling from Dowling. So we live on Dowling Lake. And so that was kind of my project. So I've got about 2 years of doing that. Then the paper folded, unfortunately. So that was done. And meanwhile, I had kind of half started a daily reflections on spiritual matters using the Ojibwe words, using those as the titles throughout this. So I've been just changing that around and getting it more presentable, I think, and more to my liking. So that's one project I'm working on, is that journal, that daily journal. And then the other big one is my memoir. And so jokingly, I started that years ago. I'm writing my memoir. Like there was a whole lot to say. But I found out there is, I found out it can be inclusive of many things. So, for example, an interview I'm going to do this week with a cousin
Yes.
that's 95. So it's time to do that. That was a big factor in my going back to look at my writing. Well, first of all, you helped me to do that because I was doing what I call my desk cleaning. My husband and I doing that around the house, just getting rid of things that, like my old report cards from day one.
Right, right.
Who's going to want to look at those? So things like that we were putting aside and getting the house a little cleaner. We're still doing that. It's ongoing. But I just don't want my daughter to have to face doing that once I'm gone. So
Yeah.
so you helped me to think of that in terms of let's get this going. let's look at
Mm,
this. And those affirmations, I am a writer, and
yeah,
to keep reflecting upon that.
that's
So
amazing.
there's the start.
So there's
And
been so much that's come up for you as you've been unearthing things in your home, you've been trying new things. And can you remember back to what initially brought you into working with me? Like what made you say, I've got to start making creative writing a habit. I've got to actually finish writing this book that I thought was a joke. What kind of challenges were coming up before for you?
well, first of all, I took a community ed class, and you were the teacher. I was retired. I've been retired a few years now, and I thought, what can I be doing now with my life? What are some meaningful things that I can be? Because I always have things I love to do, but this is really meaningful. And so I took the community ed. It was creative writing. And I Want to Write was the title you had of one. I've taken about, what, 3 or 4 classes now
Mhm.
from you, Molly, and I loved every single one. There, each day of each class is a new day, so that even repeating a class, which I did, it was new again because there were new things coming up and new people around in the class. So it was really a fun time and a learning time, a very learning time, and reframing things in my mind as to how I could write and what I could write. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah, it's my pleasure. It's been such a
Oh,
delight watching you grow and watching like the physical of you cleaning through your house and tidying things. That's actually happening in your heart as a writer. And that is just fun how that coincides. So what would you say, how has having support factored into your growth and confidence as a writer?
oh, the support has been great. The students that you've had besides me that I'm in class with, they change through the couple of years we've been together. People have come and gone, and but their support was just wonderful. We each support each other in a class, doing the writings that we did and sharing them with each other. So that part was really meaningful. It really tied me into it and gave me confidence. Confidence was a big word for me that you sort of built upon. You taught us how to hold on to that confidence and build from it. So that's a part of what I've gotten in the classes too.
That's amazing. Yeah, having community around you
Mhm,
is
mhm,
such a gift of people who get it. People who also have words in their heart that they want to get out and share with people.
mhm.
Amazing.
I was amazed how many people like me just had put it on a shelf somewhere and
Mhm.
not bothered with it. And I kept thinking as the classes went by, it's so good that I connected with you and your classes, because I took it off of the shelf again. I took things down again and re-looked at them, and how sad it would have been if I hadn't done that,
Mm.
because maybe someone would find it someday, maybe not. Knowing my grandson, he would have tossed everything out. Is there a motorbike in here anywhere?
Well, Michelle, what would you say has been one of the keys to really becoming the writer that you are made to be and making that move from writer to author?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think the main thing was the confidence to begin with, that I needed. That had to come from inside. Wasn't anything I could really do physically, but it had to, that belief in myself it had to start from there. And you were the gift of that in the
Mhm.
classes. So it was amazing to me how little. I mean, I'm a retired psychotherapist. I taught about confidence and believing
Sure.
in oneself, and with each client I had.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I needed to rekindle that and find that again. And
Mm.
the COVID didn't help in the sense of being among people. That's why I so appreciate it. I have to share this, your Zoom classes,
Mm.
because I didn't have to leave my home to
Yeah.
go to your classes. It was just fabulous because I live about 40 miles from Duluth. And so to get anywhere is a struggle. I don't really enjoy driving. I have some poor eyesight things going on. So just that confidence and beginning to look at that. I don't know if I answered that question.
No, that's great. That's really great that you've mentioned that confidence is so important to you, to build on what you had already and to watch it compound, and that's amazing. That's amazing. And so when you think about others who are wanting to take the next leap in their writing life and their author career, what's one lesson that you would want those people to know, those wanting to take a leap? What's one lesson you'd want them to know?
Do it. Just do it. Get the papers together wherever they are in the house, if you have that, or if you don't even have anything that you've started yet, it's probably started in your head. And so bring that forth, put it down on paper. I use computer when I write a lot because of my poor hands, but that really is helpful to just bring it forth. And that was our start when I began with you, is I had to get everything together and kind of sort it out. And I divided it into 3 things that I'm doing. And that really helped because there's the memoir, which is kind of the big piece. And then there's the daily writings, which are kind of just a reflective and fun kind of thing. And then there's my little short writings that I have a stack of too, that I'm not sure if part of them may fit into the memoir, but part of them may just stand on their own. So there's those 3 stacks that I kind of have working, that I'm working on. So, but to get it off the shelf, get it out of the drawers, bring it to the table, and wherever you sit to write, or if you don't have a place to sit and write, think about that, because that's important. Like right now I'm in what we call our TV exercise room. so there's a lot of things in here, but this is a quiet place to come, and I don't have to disturb Rex with what I'm doing either. So the rest of the house is open. But a lot of times I sit right at the dining room table, and because I can see out the window and see nature and be real close to that. But figure those things out in your mind too. Where will I write? Where do I picture myself writing? And it may change. I hopefully will get outside and write more this summer, the spring and summer. So those kind of thoughts come to me when I'm thinking of telling other people about what to do. And I personally needed a teacher. I personally needed someone to guide, someone just to say, yes, that's going well, or no, this, maybe you want to change this to this, or whatever. And I also needed peers, and those were the students, the other students. So it's just been a learning experience, the whole thing. And I really thank you again. But we are so lucky to have you in this community, I think, because I've taken community ed classes many times before, and it's always just something I'm interested in and something I'm not sure I want to learn, but I want to maybe try. And the creative writing really struck a tone with me, and the way you worded your titles struck a tone with me. The one class, I just want to write. I love that. That drew me in to the class.
That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. What would you say, so what it feels like to have that kind of anxiety, nervous excitement behind of, should I do this? Should I take that risk? What would you say to somebody who's on the fence considering getting support from me to get their words out?
Get off the fence. Get off the fence. Make a move. And that sounds little, but that was major for me to call and set up the class and say, oh, I don't know. There'll probably be really good writers there, and I don't know if I'll fit in that. And so those doubts, those self-doubts, which before I began this whole thing, the self-doubts kept me from doing it. And so that's maybe the fence, getting off that fence and just coming in and seeing. And it felt safe with the Zoom too, because I thought, well, if anytime I don't feel comfortable, I'll just shut it off. I just have to press a button.
Yeah.
So,
That's great. Okay, one last question for you. What's it actually like to work with Molly Ovenden as your creative writing coach?
Oh my goodness. I love her smile. I love your smile. That's the first thing that I usually see when I tune into the class, and the welcoming, just a little message on Zoom that you have about this is a shame-free place
Yeah.
or shameless place, whatever. Anyway, so you just feel like I can go there. I can walk in that door, whatever the Zoom door is. And Molly, you just made it so much fun.
Mhm.
That's the big stress for the big thing I want to stress is it wasn't dull and work. It felt fun. I looked forward each day to the time that we came together, and
Mhm.
you made that fun, laughing, joking even, and but learning. And you know the good examples that you gave us, examples to write on, and so we would do that in class, and those were just fun. They
Mhm.
were, and yet they were learning. We were learning the whole time. And that was important to me, that you don't have to be staunch to learn. You don't have to sit straight up and learn. I could be up in this room and kind of curled up in this room, or I could be on my lounge chair, or I could be at the table. Didn't matter because the lesson was there and I just took it. I just loved it.
Well, Michelle, thank you so much for the privilege of getting to know you and still be working with you inside of our membership. This is so exciting. And I am, yeah, just really excited to see what you come up with next. Is there anything else that you want to say today?
No, let me look at some notes here, but I think we've covered a lot here. Time is passing. That's another
Mm,
thing that I wanted to share.
mm,
And as I looked before starting classes, I just realized I've got to do this. And all of my years, I'm a good oh, what is that movie? Gone with the Wind. Tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow.
mm.
That's kind of the model of my life. I'll do it tomorrow. But no, I'm doing it now. I'm doing it today. So I had to rephrase that. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate your time today talking with me about your writing journey and letting me celebrate you. So thank you so much.
thank you, Molly. And please keep doing the classes. I just love it. And those of you out there, if you can hear me, do it. Just do it. Just come and meet Molly and learn.